Hello everyone and welcome to Open the Book. This term we're going to do a mixture of different ways of telling the stories to you. Sometimes it's going to be on a video like this one. Other times it might be a whole team of us coming in with props and costumes. And other times it might just be me or somebody else coming in and reading you the story and getting you to join in with as many actions as we can. So this year's going to be slightly different again, but we're so pleased that we will be able to come in and tell you some Bible stories. Can anyone tell me what sort of book this is? Yes, I'm so sure some of you know. It's a Bible. And there are lots of different types of Bibles. This one's very old. This one's written in a different language. I wonder if you can see that. This is written in Persian. Some are designed for children, like this one, which has lots of information as well as pictures, with maps and all sorts of things, explaining what things mean. But here is another kind of Bible, and I like this one too because this also has lots of pictures in it. The Open the Book storytellers use this one a lot. Now you may know the Bible contains many stories, but did you know that these stories link together to form one long story about God and the people here on earth? Today we're going to hear the very first story in the Bible. But we need your help. What I need you to do is listen out for certain words and do some actions. So if you hear the words green growing things, can you pretend to be a plant, maybe blossom or have leaves on a tree? If you hear the word flying things, can you pretend to be something that's flying? You might be a great big eagle or a little tiny insect or a butterfly. Then you might hear the words splashing things. Can you pretend to be a great big fish swimming through the sea or a big dolphin jumping out of the water? And then we've got the walking, hopping things. And I need you to pretend to be an animal that walks on the ground or hops or whatever. So you could be a little frog. You might be a monkey climbing up a tree. Or you could just pretend to be yourself walking along. Don't make any noises while you do it so you can still hear the words of the story. So let's open the book at the very first story, called In the Beginning.
In the beginning. At first, there wasn't anything at all. Nothing. So God set to work. But he didn't use his hands or a special machine. He spoke, that's all. He said,
"I'd like some light."
and there was light, brighter than the summer's morning or 1,000 Christmas candles. God spoke again. He said,
"Sky. I'd like some sky and some water underneath."
and sure enough, there it was. The bright blue sky with the dark blue heavens above it and the blue-green sea below. God shouted next,
Day, shining sun. Night, shining moon. Bright, shining stars.
and there they were, for morning and evening, summer and winter, time and heat and light.
Earth.
That's what God said next, hard and firm, as if he really meant it, and the blue-green waters parted, and there was dry land underneath, great patches of it, dirt black and brown, here and there all over the world.
We need some colour.
God whispered. as if he were thinking out loud. And quivering with excitement, green growing things crept right up out of the dark earth, then burst into blossom, red, orange and blue. Pine trees and palm trees, rose bushes and blackberry bushes, tulips and chrysanthemums. After that, God called to the sky as if he were expecting some kind of an answer.
Come forth, flying things.
He cried, and through the clouds they came, flying high and flying low, flying large and flying small, eagles and insects, hummingbirds and hawks. Then God called to the sea.
Come forth, splashing things.
And they came to him too, leaping right up through the waves, sailfish and swordfish, dolphins and trout, great grinning humpback whales. Finally, God called to the earth.
Come forth, walking things, crawling things, running, hopping, climbing things.
And sure enough, they came, up from the burrows, down from the trees, out of the high grass and across the open plains. Now everything was ready, good and ready. So God spoke again.
Man and woman.
Is what he said, as if he were calling the names of his very best friends. And out of the dust came Adam and Eve to enjoy all that God had made, to take care of it for him and to talk with him.
This is the way things ought to be.
God said at last.
This is what I call good.
Wow, that was a pretty amazing first story. Thank you to the Greystoke Open the Book team from the Lake District who made that video for us. That video showed there was nothing at all and then all those wonderful things. I wonder which part of the story you liked best. Next week we'll be coming back and we'll be coming in person into your school to tell you the next part of the story. We'll be finding out what happened to the beautiful world that God made. So, close your eyes for a moment and think of something beautiful you have seen. It might be the sea, a river, or a flower. It might be a colourful butterfly, a shiny conker, or a bright tropical fish. Now, I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you for all the beautiful things you have made. Please help us to enjoy them and look after them. Amen.